So welcome to this video. My name is Alex. Now, did you know that in 1922 Dr. Otto Warburg won the Nobel Prize for a discovery about cancer cells? And this discovery has been, you could say, conveniently forgotten over the past 100 years, but it is the most crucial discovery to understanding and healing cancer. And his discovery was quite simple. He discovered that cancer cells cannot survive in an oxygen-rich environment, and that cancer cells thrive and proliferate in an oxygen-deficient environment. And of course, we're talking about our inner cellular environment. So essentially, cancer cells cannot survive in the presence of oxygen. Now, if you know anything about the human body, you'll know that it thrives on oxygen. And the prime food for every cell of your body is oxygen. Essentially, every cell of your body feeds on oxygen. Oxygen is the prime food of every cell of your body. But what about a cancerous cell? Well, a cancerous cell is a healthy cell which has mutated and no longer feeds on oxygen. Instead of feeding on oxygen, a cancerous cell feeds on sugar. And this is what Dr. Otto Warburg won the Nobel Prize for discovering, that a cancer cell feeds on sugar, that cancer cells feed on sugar. And so, can you imagine if the cells of your body are not getting enough oxygen, but there's an abundance of sugar going into your body? So your diet is rich in sugars, and that's not just sugar, that's carbohydrates, that includes carbohydrates. So sugars in all forms. If your cells are getting an abundance of sugar, but they're not getting enough oxygen, then you're creating the perfect inner environment for those cells to mutate. Because consider this, the cells of your body are hardwired to survive. They just want to survive, and they will adapt and change in any way they have to, in any way they can, as long as they survive. So that means that a healthy cell will mutate and change its food supply just so it can survive. In order to survive, it will mutate and change because there's not enough oxygen. It hasn't got an abundance of its favorite food, oxygen. So it says, well, I'm not getting enough of this food I need to be my normal self, so I'll change, I'll adapt, and I'll feed off this other food which there is an abundance of, which is sugar. And there you have basically the understanding of what a cancer cell is. A cancer cell is a healthy cell which has mutated and changed its food supply. Now, the big question is, if a cancer cell, if a healthy cell can mutate and change its food supply to sugar instead of oxygen, can a cancerous cell mutate back? And if you give that healthy cell an abundance of oxygen, so you have a cancerous cell which is feeding on sugar, but then you starve that cell of sugar, so the food that it's craving isn't there, you starve it of sugar, but then you flood it with oxygen instead. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think that cell is going to die and say, oh dear, there's not enough sugar, I can't survive? Or do you think that incredibly intelligent cell, which is hardwired to survive, will mutate back and say, I need to survive. There is no more sugar, but there is an abundance of oxygen. Well, in all likelihood, then that cell which has mutated once to change its food supply will of course just mutate again and change its food supply. There is no reason to suggest that that cell will not mutate once more like it already has and change its food supply back to oxygen. So that cell once again becomes a health-giving cell, a healthy cell. And it's really important to understand that health spreads. Just as disease spreads, health spreads. So, the core of this understanding is that if there's an abundance of the ideal food for every cell of your body, then those cells cannot become cancerous. If there is an abundance of oxygen reaching your cells, there is no chance that they will become cancerous cells, because they're getting the food they need and they're not going to change. A cancerous cell is a healthy cell that has changed and is feeding off sugar. But if there's an abundance of oxygen, there is no reason for that cell to mutate. It has no need to mutate because it has everything it needs. The two most important things our cell needs, aside from nutrients, is water and oxygen. Water to clean itself, to clean away any toxins which are released by the cell, and oxygen so it can feed off the cell. The cells metabolize oxygen. It's their favorite food. So when you flood your body with oxygen, your cells come alive. You feel the energy, the increase of energy in your body when you flood your body with oxygen. And this doesn't just include deep breathing or exercising, which we all know makes us feel good, but it includes nutrition. Flooding your body with oxygen means enriching your blood, because it's your blood which carries the oxygen around your body. Your blood is a delivery system for oxygen. So if you've got strong, healthy blood, that means iron-rich, mineral-rich, alkaline blood, healthy blood, with high hemoglobin levels, then that blood is going to deliver oxygen around your body in a very efficient and effective way. But if your blood is poor, if you have low hemoglobin and iron levels in your body, your blood is no longer able to deliver as much oxygen as it could when it was healthy. So low blood quality means low oxygen delivery. Your cells will not be getting as much oxygen as they will when your blood is healthy. So if you combine these two things, healthy blood and exercise, because of course exercise is the best way to flood our body with oxygen. Healthy blood and exercise means that any oxygen you take in your body is going to be delivered very efficiently and very directly by your blood to every cell of your body. Now look at it the other way. No exercise, low blood quality, low hemoglobin levels. What's going to happen? Your cells are going to be starving for oxygen. The cells are going to be saying, well, where is my food? Where is this oxygen that I need to survive? And of course, that's when they start looking for an alternative food supply, which is sugar. So following this logic, understanding the blood's purpose, which is to deliver oxygen, and understanding that the cells of your body thrive on oxygen, and that cancer cells cannot survive in an oxygen-rich environment, then what do you think is the best thing? If you have cancerous cells in your body, what is the best, most direct and powerful thing you can do to encourage that cancer to disappear? It's to flood your body with the food that those cells need to turn back into healthy cells, and to deprive your body of the food that those cancerous cells are feeding off, which is sugar in all forms. Now this is the discovery of Dr. Otto Warburg, Nobel Prize winner, 1922 I believe. These aren't my findings. This is a Nobel Prize winner. And really all you have to do is experiment a little bit with sugar, with oxygen, with improving your blood quality, and you will experience whether this is true or not. You don't have to believe me, you don't have to believe Dr. Otto Warburg. If you experiment with this knowledge that I've just shared with you, you will find that actually your body does respond in this way. Your body does come alive. Your body feels more healthy and vital when you're flooding it with oxygen, when you're enriching your blood, and the best way to do that is with green food, green vegetables, especially dark green vegetables, iron-rich foods, and especially things like spirulina and wheatgrass. Now I always talk about wheatgrass because I drink it nearly every day of my life, and wheatgrass has been used for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years for healing the body because it delivers oxygen into the blood like no other food. Drinking juice, wheatgrass juice, is like drinking a strong cup of coffee, but with no negative effects. It just makes you feel, it lifts your energy, it makes you feel awake, alert, it gives you so much energy, it makes you feel so fresh in your mind. And wheatgrass juice is Mother Nature's greatest healer, by far, because it's very chlorophyll rich, and chlorophyll and hemoglobin are almost identical. Just one little difference in the mineral content of hemoglobin and iron that makes them slightly different, but they're almost identical. So chlorophyll is the best food for your blood, to make your blood strong and to increase the hemoglobin levels and to help your blood increase your blood's capacity to deliver oxygen, because that's what it's all about. We want to be increasing our blood's capacity to deliver oxygen, because that's the most intelligent thing we can possibly do for our health, because then the blood is able to carry more oxygen. In partnership with exercising more, outdoors, being more active, breathing more deeply on a regular basis, being more aware that we are breathing properly and getting plenty of fresh oxygen into our body, as well as moving our body to get our blood pumping around our body, because it's delivering the oxygen you need. So if you were to combine no exercise, poor diet, so that our blood is not getting the nutrients it needs, and poor breathing, and a sugar-rich diet, combine those things and you're asking for trouble. You're creating the environment in your body for cancer to thrive. If you think of cancer like the black mold that grows in a room, if you take a room and you shut off the sunlight and you shut off the air circulation, so there's no sunlight entering the room, there's no air circulating, there's no fresh air, and it's damp, so you get damp walls, you get no sunlight, and there's no airflow, then you are going to get mold growing on those walls, because you have created the perfect environment for that mold to grow. That mold needs certain conditions: damp, no sunlight, and a lack of air. It's exactly the same. Cancerous cells are so similar that they need a certain environment, and if you give them that environment, they will spread like wildfire, they'll proliferate. And that environment is oxygen deficiency, a lack of exercise, lack of blood flow, and a lack of water as well, because our cells can't clean themselves. If they're not getting the water, if we're not flushing our body with water, the cells cannot clean themselves. So water is vital to this process of helping our cells, encouraging ourselves to stay healthy. So, the environment a healthy cell needs is oxygen-rich, plenty of water, plenty of blood flow, so we're encouraging our blood to flow so it can deliver the oxygen, and finally, healthy blood. So, this is a very practical understanding. You need to improve your blood quality with your diet, especially with dark greens, wheatgrass juice, chlorophyll, green juices, and then you have to, at the same time as improving your diet and enriching your blood, you need to, in my opinion, cut out sugar intake, completely cut it out.